Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. You may have recently seen a video on this knife. It's the Ballistic Folding Hunter by Elk Ridge in white smooth bone. And I bought this knife because it was in white smooth bone. I bought it several years ago, but when I started doing the review of this knife, I thought, you know what, I should see if I can find some other white smooth bone knife patterns that I don't have. And so what I did is I went into eBay and started doing a search, and I thought, you know what, I don't have a white smooth bone Choctaw by Frost, and I thought, let's see what happens if I put in that search. And needless to say, one did show up, and I have it here, and I will be reviewing this one in the near future. But the really cool thing is a knife that I have been looking for ages also showed up. And so I'm going to show that one first. Now, unless you're brand spanking new to the channel, you probably know what's in this box. And that is a large toothpick. My favorite pattern of knife to pick up. And it's a large toothpick in white smooth bone. And these seem to be as scarce as hen's teeth. Now, I have two of them now. This one and one by Bear & Son. I'll show you the Bear & Son in just a second. But this is a knife that I have basically been begging Rough Ryder to make forever, at least 10 years. Ever since I got my first Rough Ryder large toothpick, I've been sending them notes and bugging them online and talking to them on YouTube and everything else about, hey, how about a white smooth bone and a large 5-inch toothpick and white smooth bone. And it's like it's fallen on deaf ears. And apparently, even with Frost Cutlery, you notice this box here is the Cheetah. Now, they don't call the large toothpicks a Cheetah anymore. And matter of fact, if you notice here from the box, this was made back in Jim Frost's Japan days. So this knife is probably well over 20 years old. And surprisingly, I got it for a whopping $18. By comparison, this is a brand new High Plains toothpick by Rough Ryder. The lowest price you can get this for on eBay is $16.84. So $17 versus $18 for a knife that you just can't find anymore. So this was almost a steal of a deal. And the quality of the build on this is really terrific. And well, let me go over the build of this, and I'm going to compare it to the High Plains toothpick, because that's the latest bone-handled toothpick by Rough Ryder. Now, as I said, this is known as the Cheetah, and if you look for the Frost Cheetah on eBay, they usually go in the $30 to $50 range, depending on, if the box is with them and what condition they're in and everything else. So you usually don't get them for $18. I'll tell you that right now. But sometimes you're lucky. And I think the reason I was lucky with this one is because it was not listed as a large toothpick, and it was not listed as a Cheetah. And I found it while looking for this knife, the white smooth bone Choctaw. So I don't get it. I don't know how it happened. But that's the way it happened. And, well, you can see it's not perfect. If you look under magnification there, you can definitely see the pivot point. I guess I could polish that out if I tried real hard. I'm not too concerned about it. The bone has some speckling in it, but you also have to remember the knife is over 20 years old. There is a little bit of a gap right there in between the liner and the bone. I suppose that has happened from shrinkage over the years. Bone does shrink. But what you got are really nice nickel silver bolsters. You've got the stainless steel back spring, and then the brass liners going on there. Looks like nickel silver pins also. And then the surgical steel blade that Frost uses. Notice there you got the Frost Cutlery. This is well before the Steel Warrior branding and all this other stuff. This was just Frost Cutlery. And on the back side you see surgical steel, and then lightly stamped up on the blade there, if I can get it to shine just right, you got Japan. Right there, Japan. And also says Japan on the box. Now the blade, if you notice, absolutely no wobble on it. Blade is nice and straight. You got just your typical nail nit going on there. None of the match striker pull stuff. You got plain bolsters. There's no threading or ringing going on or anything like that. Just a wonderful, simple, elegant design. No full half stop happening either. Blade, look at the drop there. Pretty close to down the middle. So a really well-made knife that's easily over 20 years ago. So people who, and you will hear people say this all the time, that they really like the Frost Japan knives, and the reason is the quality was probably better with the Frost Japan knives. But Frost also has some pretty decent knives coming out of China. I got to tell people that all the time too. They're not all crap, despite what some people want to say. This is as smooth as can be. The transitions from bolster to bone, really smooth. Across the pins is very smooth. This is just, I mean, they have buffed and polished this so smooth that you can barely tell there's a pin there. And it just really looks good. Action is not bad. It was a little dry when I got it. I have oiled it since then, and the more I open it, the better it gets. You can see there, it does not have a true half stop. It's more like that lazy half stop that I like to talk about. But it's got a good snap closing, and got good tension on the blade. And like I said, no wobble at all. So a really well-made toothpick. By comparison to the Rough Ryder, and trust me, the Rough Ryder is a well-made toothpick too, but as you can see, the blade alignment could be a little bit better compared to the Frost. It definitely favors the show side of the knife. You've got the embellishments on the bolsters. I really like a triple ring bolster on the bottom. This I think would look better with the triple ring. We already know where I stand with the R, but at the same time, some people actually do like the R. The blade on this one has a lighter pull than the blade on the Cheetah. It does have a true half stop, but to get it to the half stop here, see how far I had to push it before it snaps? All the way up to it almost. It has a good closing half stop, much better than the to the half point. Markings are pretty good, and again, no blade wobble on here whatsoever. You got the swedge if you like the swedge. So this one has a more refined look to it, no doubt about it. This blade is not anywhere near the mirror polish that the Rough Ryder has. So you also have that going for it. This is more of a stainless finish, and it has the Cheetah etch going there. So a lot of people may not like the knife simply because of the blade etch. I think that just adds to it because of the various blade etches that were used. There's also the one for Saturday Night Special, which is pretty cool, and one for Texas Toothpick. I believe those usually come with the Parker Tang stamp instead of the Frost Tang stamp, though. But they were also made in Japan and are basically the same frame as what you're seeing here. But the big difference here is white smooth bone, and Rough Ryder does not make a white smooth bone. Once again, I'm going to plead with them to come out with a white smooth bone toothpick. This is the only one that I'm aware of, and this one's out of Japan right now. No one is making a current white smooth bone toothpick. Another company, a USA made company, has, well, several USA made companies have made white smooth bone toothpicks in the past, but they're very difficult to find. One of the few that I have found is from Bear & Son. And let me show you the Bear & Son compared to this now. Now, here is my Bear & Son white smooth bone toothpick, and I believe this might have been Smoky Mountain Knife Works, what do they call it, SFO, Special Factory Offering. And if you notice here, it is number 19 of 100. It has the Bear & Son shield going on there. That is one of the things that a lot of people who collect white smooth bone prefer not to see on a knife is a shield. They prefer it without the shield so that you just have the bone. Because if you're going to do any kind of scrimshaw work on it or something, it's better if there's no shield on it. But obviously you can see the difference between the two of these. You can even feel it in the weight. It feels like the Bear & Son is a little heavier. You notice also that there is a black coating on the blade on the Bear & Son. I got to show you this, man. This is also really well made. People complain, even I complain about Bear & Son knives. I have never complained about the Bear & Son toothpicks. They did a great job with all of their toothpicks that I have come across so far. But this one has a titanium coated 448 stainless steel blade. Now, it's mainly black, but if you hit it with the light just right, you can see some of the orange and blues and purple hues show up in the titanium coating. And you've got a wonderful saber grind going on with a terrific looking clip blade going on there. Let's take a look, compare those two clip blades. There's no doubt about it which clip blade looks nicer. The Bear & Son clip blades are some of the prettiest clips I've seen on large toothpicks. And obviously you see the other thing going on here with the plain bolsters. This knife resides in my USA made large toothpick collection. I now have one white smooth bone large toothpick, and I've got to decide if I should put it in with my other offshore large toothpicks, or if I should be putting it in with my my white smooth bone collection. At the moment, I'm thinking this will probably go in with the white smooth bone collection, but that also means then I've got to find at least one more white smooth bone knife for my offshore or foreign made, Chinese made, whatever you want to call it. I just need a Rough Ryder white smooth bone toothpick. That would solve so many problems. So please, Rough Ryder, even though I finally got a large white smooth bone toothpick, consider making a white smooth bone large toothpick. I cannot be the only one who is looking for such a knife. Any case, with that said, I will leave you here with a slideshow, and in the near future I will also talk about this one here, the white smooth bone Choctaw, which I believe is also made in Japan. me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.